Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Everyone, welcome to Sada Education Society. We are here to promote Islamic financial literacy among the many Islamic finance stakeholders, and these are the consumer, the investors, the Islamic bank themselves, the regulators, the government agencies, as well as the academia. So we do hope that the effort will be able to add value to the development of Islamic banking sector. Today our topic is about the establishment of Islamic banking in a dual financial system. This is a wide topic, I presume, that require a lot of assumption, especially those regarding to our background knowledge of Islamic banking. I presume that you may have taken some training or courses on Islamic banking. So if you do, that will help a lot. Otherwise, I do hope that you can follow my review of the topic, which I would hope to provide us with a very good understanding about the challenges and issues faced by Islamic banks today. We know very well that the basis of Islamic banking is based on the Quranic verse from Surah Al-Baqarah 275. Number one, the non-believer was saying, Innamal bay'u mithlu riba. They say that al-bay' is the same as riba. That al-bay', which is buy and sell, is the same as riba, which is money lending. And this, of course, require us to critically examine, this claim regarding the equivalence of al-bay' to riba. In the next verse, Allah says, وَأَهَلَ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَمُ riba, that in Surah 275, it continues saying that Allah has permitted al-bay' but prohibits riba. So this is a denunciation of riba and the prescription of al-bay'. And therefore we can see that the tension between al-bay' and riba is real in the verse following the claim by the mushrikun that al-bay' is the same as riba, and therefore the Quran detested this claim by saying that Allah has permitted al-bay' but prohibit riba. So we need to understand basically what is the difference between al-bay' and riba, and why is it that the mushrikun were claiming that they are the same. And so this is the process of investigation and education, and therefore this video would like to further examine the two conception of riba and al-bay', and because the banking business is the business where riba predominates, because this is where we see the taking of deposit with interest, which is riba, and the making of loan with interest, which is riba, and therefore it is the right platform to experiment how al-bay' can be applied in banking so as to remove the use of riba. But then we see that the application of al-bay' in banking, or the implementation of the principle of al-bay' in banking is conducted within a dual financial system. So when many Islamic banks were set up in the 70s and 80s, they were set up within a mixed system of free enterprise and capitalism. And most of the banking company were operated based on interest. And when Islamic Bank came in to set up their own business, we will see that the Islamic Bank tends to inherit or tends to adopt some of the characteristic of conventional banking infrastructure. And these are listed in the following. Number one, the Islamic Bank was set up as a deposit-taking bank. So meaning that from the funding side, we see that funds are acquired from debt, because deposit fund, by definition of the Basel Committee of Banking Supervision, once funding is defined as deposit, it is basically a loan that the bank acquire from the depositors, and therefore the issue is to use a loan fund to finance the Islamic contract of sale. So we have an issue of mismatches of risk profiling, and therefore this is one of the issue that I will be looking into as we move on. Number two, the Islamic Bank was set up in a fractional reserve banking system. So meaning that the Islamic Bank participated in the FRB, and therefore they are also involved in the process of money creation and debt creation that is known to be adding on to the fragility of the financial system. And this FRB can be responsible for the boom and bust of the economy, which Islamic Bank are also part of this FRB system. Number three, Islamic banks were set up as a commercial bank, so meaning that the fact that we expect the Islamic Bank to be or to have a social objective, to help the poor or to finance small business that have no collateral to support their loan, this would be not viable for a commercial bank, because the main objective of any commercial bank is to maximize profit. So profit objective, of course, with some voluntary social goal via the CRS or corporate social responsibility, but the predominantly the objective of a commercial bank is to maximize profit, and therefore we are not looking at Islamic Bank being operated as a social bank or as an investment bank. Number four, because the fact that deposits are loan the bank acquire from all of us, and the bank uses this deposit fund to make loan, there is a possibility that the Islamic Bank, that the bank may behave irresponsibly or to be too aggressive, because the funds are not belonging to the bank, it belongs to all of us. Banking capital is only a small component of the total fund, and therefore the moral hazard can take place where bank can become overly aggressive or irresponsible in making loan, that in the end they may end up making bad loans or subprime loans, or giving loans to those who are not deserving. So Basel regulation come in to ensure that banks have enough capital to support their loan, and this would somehow check and balance to see that the excessive risk-taking can be put on check by making sure that banks have enough capital to support their loans. So Basel regulation comes in, to supervise and to make sure that banks are well capitalized and they remain solvent in the conduct of business. Number 5 is that there is a competition with larger conventional bank, because the Islamic bank was set up within a dual financial system, and therefore they are competing with their larger counterpart. And one of the issue is the lack of scale economy in the Islamic bank, and therefore they are unable to compete effectively with the bigger banks, and so that will somehow affect the performance of the Islamic bank. Okay, this is just a summary of the 5 issues in the setting up of Islamic bank within a dual financial system. I will be looking more into the issue as we try to further spell out the meaning of al-bay' and riba, and how this al-bay' can be applied in the banking business. So thank you very much. I see you again. Assalamu alaikum.